Hi, Craig Stevens. I'm here today to represent the people on the other end of the pipelines with contaminated water and contaminated air and land. The more we drill, the more we pipe it and make liquefied natural gas, the more of my neighbors all around the country are getting poisoned. So stop Cove Point, stop the infrastructure, stop the fracking.
To protect the integrity of the hole and to protect the surrounding deep freshwater zone, a second layer of steel casing, called surface casing, is installed and cemented inside the newly drilled hole and conductor casing. Cement is pumped down through the surface casing and up along the sides of the well to provide a proper seal. This completely isolates the well from the deepest of private or municipal water wells. 7 layers of protection. Horizontal drilling offers many advantages when compared to vertical drilling.
All the water tankers up there, all the blue tankers, that's where they get all the water for fracking. They bring it to tankers, fill up about 100 tankers. And you see them over there, they're all hosed together. And then under high pressure, they mix the sand, special sand, with chemicals. And they mix the water, and then they shoot that down into the hole that's thousands of feet down, to open the rock in the horizontal area, which has holes that have been blasted open, to open the rocks so that the methane gas can start to come out. So they do that, what we call fracking. That's the fracking stage. Okay, this water has been tested. It's been found contaminated with high explosive levels of methane, and then also heavy metals. So I'll show you as it comes out. Now this is the water that they cannot drink anymore. Nobody will drink something like this. And we do have tests from the DEP, Department of Environmental Protection, that shows that it is not to be anymore for drinking. See smoke coming out, like vapors. You see the vapors?
Yeah. That's nuts. You're inhaling it?
Yeah, try and smell it too, see if it has a certain, sometimes it has different types of smell.
First and foremost, a human rights struggle. We need to know that we don't have to be tireless and fearless. I'm tired and scared all the time.
This is what is referred to as an AMD treatment plant, or acid mine drainage treatment plant. The water from the abandoned mine, which has acid in it, is brought into this location. After that water is treated and it's tested for pH, then it comes out here and goes through this pipe and it's discharged into the stream. And this is supposed to be clean water. Now we just tested that water, and we know that that water right there is 6.7 times higher in electronic conductivity than what it's supposed to be. But what causes that electronic conductivity to be so high? Well, we did a test on this, and we found out that there's a lot of sodium sulfate, which is characteristic of mining. But there's bromide in that water, high levels of bromide. Bromide is not found in coal. There should not be any bromide in that water at all. If it is, only a very meager amount. And we're getting 3,000 to 4,000 parts per billion bromide in there. It should not be in that water. We're getting strontium in there, and it should not be in there. And we're getting high levels of sodium, which should not be in there. That stuff is coming from someplace else. It's not associated with coal mining. It's chemicals that's associated with the Marcellus gas drilling. When they drill this Marcellus wells, they drill down through these mines. If they're hauling the flowback water away properly, like they say they are, and disposing of it properly, like they say they are, then where's that bromide coming from? Bromide comes out of the Marcellus gas. It's in that water. Where's it coming from? You tell me where that bromide's coming from. I asked the DEP, they don't know. I asked the mining companies, they don't know. I asked the EPA, they don't know. Somebody has to know where that's coming from. It's not getting in there by magic. Somebody's putting it in there. Where's it coming from? Is the ground cracked underneath, and when they hydrofrack, it blows up through the bottom? I don't know. Is it dumped in there illegally into these old mines? I don't know. I know it's there. Why is the regulatory agency not finding out where this is coming from? That bromide will go into this creek, will go down where we were at and on down below, and there's an intake for our water down there, which we have a water treatment plant for municipal drinking water. And it'll go through that plant, and they will treat it with chlorine. And when they treat it with chlorine, they produce a compound called trihalomethane. Trihalomethane is a cancer-causing agent.
So they can't use their water. The water changed in December of 2011 when it came out of the faucet. It started to sputter. There was gas in it. And then it changed color. When they looked in the toilet, it was a different color. It was a dark color. And they were getting gas even in the bathroom. They told them you should vent a window, otherwise you can get dizzy from the gas that builds up during the hot water when you shower. It comes out through the hot water. So at this point, they right now have to use replacement water and bottled water for drinking. So now they have to pay for it. The gas company paid for it for a year and a half, and now they have to pay for it. This is their water well. That's been disconnected. I have videos. I have over 500 videos on my YouTube channel showing all different parts of what's happened to us since 2008, 2009.
Can I use videos from your YouTube channel?
Yeah. And we have this stack, and when I show pictures where I put my camera in there, and you can see the water bubbling. So much methane gas coming up, it's now bubbling like you're cooking spaghetti. And this is to release the methane so there's no explosion. Otherwise, something could happen. It's so close to the house, and they were worried, so they put these things all over.
Prior to gas drilling, there was nothing wrong with my water, and that's their pretest showing there was nothing wrong. And then it started changing colors, it started smelling. Well, DEP got involved. When DEP got involved, they found all this lovely stuff in my water. Uranium-235 and 236, uranium-238, uranium-234. Then we got 3 grades of thorium. The special sauce, which we don't even know what it is, they just put a number to it because we're not allowed to know what it is. And then we got strontium, sulfites, silica, which is the silica sand used for the fracking, manganese, magnum, lithium. The lead levels are in the ozones.
Range Resources use 880 chemicals, 650 of them is cancer causing, and 1/3 of them is neurological. Then plus on top of all that stuff getting in your body, you'll get the silica sand, which flies over your head of these well pads, and it'll go into your lungs. Well, it goes in, it doesn't come out, and it's treated sand. When the gas prices got so high up here, they were at $5 a gallon. For an owner-operator, you can't make a living, so I parked my trucks, and they had a sign out that says drivers wanted. So I went down to drive what they call the baby bottles to haul the water. Well, they put me on the waste side of the water. Well, the waste side's got all the chemicals in it, all the flow back, and that it comes back out of the well. That's all the poisons. The radiation, the radium-226 comes back out of that hole. Uranium-235 comes up. Some of that's weapons grade. This stuff is so potent, and they had us as workers standing right next to this stuff, playing with it, putting it. It was splashing all over our hands and everything. And they never tell you nothing. You know, you're just going to haul water. You're just going to haul mud. You know, they don't give you any information because they don't want nobody to know what it does to them. If they were honest when they first come in and said, well, you're going to be hauling radiation and chemicals, and they don't tell you none of that.
You want to talk about radiation, Ken?
We currently know that radiation is beginning to appear throughout our water system here in Greene County, Washington County, and most of the other places. Radium-226 and 228 are the two commonly known tracer radioactive elements that are found in the Marcellus Shale. Now we know the Marcellus Shale is deep in the ground. That stuff did not reach us until flowback water started coming up on the surface, along with a hodgepodge, or I refer to a witch's brew of other chemicals that they put down in and bring back up. And we don't know the chemical reactions that are taking place because they lied to us.
Do facilities exist yet to take the radioactivity out of the brine or pipes from the Marcellus Shale?
They don't exist, and they'll have to be built. Unless, you know, the industry argues that no one's going to be harmed.
I have a friend who has a daughter, probably 26, and she works in the fracking industry and deals with the fluid, the waste fluid. Went home to her mom's, and her mom, you know, she was late or something, but she went to give her a hug. Mom, don't touch me. My clothes are a mess. They're radioactive. And she took them off and put them in the washing machine. But I think that is not probably what you should do with radioactive stuff. And then, so this last week, I'm on the phone talking to Marcia, and she said, yeah, and they're trying to get pregnant. So I'm thinking, oh my God. No. So, yeah.
You don't have to accept it. This is your right. This is a Commonwealth law. It's just as powerful as the First Amendment. Your right of freedom of speech, your right to carry and bear arms. This is the law. You don't have to accept this. It's the law.
Article 1, Section 27 of the Pennsylvania Constitution. It has our right to clean air and clean water and enjoyment of your land, and we don't have it. We don't have either one.
It's been very...
You have what?
Geiger counters to measure radiation.
You have special devices, you mean?
Yeah, oh yeah. There's this one here I bought, it's Radex. That's how you live when you live by a landfill. You know, we're 17 micrograms here in the house. A lot of times I heard, well, you get the same amount if you go to a dentist with an x-ray. Says, yeah, but I don't sit in a dentist chair and get x-rays 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And at that point, they had no comment.
There's some bubble.
It's what?
It's bubbling. You can hear the casing. If you get down here and listen to this, listen right over to this area I was listening to see if it was bubbling. You can hear the gas leak around the casing down in here. When you get down in this area with your ear, you can hear it.
I think I can smell it too.
Oh, yeah, you definitely can smell it. They tell you there's no smell to it, but you can smell that one. That deep gas, you can smell it.
Just give it a second here.
Whoa!
Just like that.
I don't know whether you can see it or not. Sometimes you have to hold it just right.
Yep.
The local government in Texas tells Steve Lipsky that the water from his well, water that he can set on fire, is safe to drink and to use in his home.
Would you pump that into your house? Would you drink it?
But Steve has the assessment of other experts who say his well is a ticking bomb in his backyard, loaded with methane and other contaminants.